Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Now, when I've watched before, people always have some sort of plant or a candle in the corner. I haven't got a plant, well, not to hand, so I've just put a miniature plant and a few stones for the aesthetic look. Okay. The tools we need for this is a craft knife. This one is from The Works. Make sure it's sharp at all times. A ruler, a metal ruler, so you don't cut your fingers, and it's got like the rubber backing on here so it doesn't slip. So you get a nice firm grip and a good cut on that. Glue gun, of course, that one's from Amazon. Essential for miniatures. This is foam core. Now I use this a lot. It's very lightweight. It's about 5mm in thickness and it is easy to cut and it's very good for model making. I have got a link to all of these if you go to my Instagram and my Amazon store. Next we've got mount board. This is more like a thick, smooth cardboard. This is what I use, well, I'm going to be using it for the kitchen cupboards, but I've also used it in my house as almost like a plasterboard inside for the walls. Very good, very versatile. And obviously, most crucial thing, a pencil. Nice and sharp. And that's pretty much it, I think. Pencil, ruler, knife. Oh yeah, and of course, a little mouse. To get the size of your kitchen cabinets, you simply need to, if you want it exactly 1:12 scale, if you Google it, I mean, your standard kitchen cupboards base units are 80 centimetres, 87 centimetres high by 56 centimetres deep. All you do is divide that number by 12 and that will give you your 1:12 scale. So it would be 7.25 centimetres high and 4.6 centimetres deep. Now with mine, I'm making mine specifically for my two little mice who are more like 1/14 scale. So I've slightly made mine lower so that they can reach. But you can do whatever you want. Just set it out with cardboard and get the shape and the style you want before you start. So I've mocked up my kitchen cupboard here. This is just literally using leftover cardboard from the house I made. And the top, that's obviously where the sink's going to go. And you can see it's just really just a knock-up version. It's just so I can get the right size, especially with my house because it's quite uneven floors because it's made from scratch, like my real house. Now I've cut out the pieces to make the actual one, and here I am using the foam core. This is the 5mm thick one that I was referring to earlier. So I've got the front and the back, the side pieces, and then a little piece to go in the middle just to give it a bit more structure. This is literally just going to be almost the frame then. You're not going to see anything. I'm not having opening doors or opening drawers on this. It's just going to look the part, but it won't actually do anything. Bearing in mind it being a 5mm thick, when you've measured how wide you want it, that's 5mm, that's 5mm, that's already 1 centimetre added on. So when I'm putting that in the middle, because I want it to be 5 centimetres overall, that is only 4 centimetres, which with the two sides makes the size that I want. And now we're going to speed up and we'll get gluing that together with our glue gun. Here we go. You've got to work quite quick with this because it does, if you know, glue guns dry quite quickly. These are great. These little boards I got. This, again, is from The Works. And it's just good because you can really get the right lining. Make sure you've got everything nice and straight. I need to put my little strut in the middle. I'll just give that bit of extra support there. Okay, there you go. And that's my base made. Don't worry about those edges because you're going to cover those with mount board. So now I'm going to make my top, my work surface, and I use balsa wood. This is a 5mm balsa wood. The reason I use balsa wood is because it's easy to cut with hand tools. I've already prepared my little sink there, so I'll just tidy that up, sand it, and that's good. You can also, what I like about balsa wood is you can sand off the edges really easily to make a nice smooth look. Draw out where you want your cupboards to go. And drawers. I'm going to have 2 cupboards, and then I'm going to have a little set of fake drawers. And then that's my corner bit. Again, if you're doing a corner, make sure you measure where that's going to go before you decide where you're going to put your cupboards. Otherwise it will overlap it. All right, it's looking the part, isn't it? So now we're going to add another bit of mount board. In fact, before I put those 2 squares on, I've put 1 piece of mount board. There you go. Because then that's going to give me, the bottom bit will be set back slightly, so that will look like the kickboards that you get in an actual kitchen. So here we are. This is using the mount board. So this is not the foam core. This is the more thinner cardboard, but thicker than normal cardboard. It's quite robust, especially when you've painted it. It really sort of strengthens it up. So these are my doors, and I'm going shaker style. So I'm now going to cut some little strips, and I will speed up here because otherwise it's going to take forever. I'm going to cut these, stick them on my door to create like a sort of a frame that you would expect to see in a shaker style kitchen. Nearly there. And then again, I'm going to glue gun them on. I don't like PVA glue, if I'm honest, for cardboard because it makes it curl up. So it's quite a faff. So I just put a little bit of the glue gun on. And as long as you're nice and quick, you don't put too much on, it'll stick really well. And we're going to go all the way around with that, making sure you've got a nice, push it down like I'm doing there against the board, so you get a nice straight outside edge. When you cut these pieces as well, with your, no matter how sharp your knife is, you're always going to have a slight dentation where you've cut. So if you just flip your piece of card over to the opposite side that you've cut, you'll have a nice crisp flat edge. I'm just cutting off the end of my knife there because I really need it to be nice and sharp so it doesn't pull. Okay, we're going to have the last bits about to go in. I probably could have speeded this up a bit more, but you need to see what I'm doing, so bear with, please. Look at that, nice click there. You can't hear it, but it actually made a nice clicking sound when it went in. There we go. How lovely is that? So they are ready to go on, like so. Now, you don't have to do this, but just because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, I just use a little bit of a filler on the cracks, if there's a bit of a gap there. But also, I like to do it on the side edges, because if you look at the side when you've done it, you'll see there's 2 layers of cardboard. So I just use the filler on the outside edges to fill in those 2 layers, so it then looks like one piece. Then you just can give that a really light sand. This filler is amazing, and again, it's in my Amazon store if you have a look. Very easy to use. And there you go. Look, it's really starting to look like a kitchen cabinet now. Again, just filled in those edges there. You can see I've put some drawers in. So we're ready to paint and put the top on. Looking good. Make sure you follow me, and I will do part 2 next, where we will do the cooker and the cupboard handles and the final finishing touches ready for your kitchen.